we first need to acknowledge the land. So because Lives for Literacy is a Canadian organization, we do take the moment before any of our events to do a land acknowledgement. Because we technically operate on the land of Montreal, we need to first acknowledge the land in which we would be operating on. So we would like to begin today's event by acknowledging the traditional lands in which we operate, which are the unceded territory of the Mohawk, a place that has long served as a site of meeting and exchange amongst nations. And now typically, as I am your head presenter, I would also acknowledge the land in which I operate. Land in which I operate is the traditional territory of the Anishinaabe, Huron-Wendat, Haudenosaunee, specifically the Iroquois, Ojibwe, Chippewa peoples, and home to the Métis. The territory in which I reside is covered by the Upper Canada Treaties. So to anyone who is joining us from outside of Canada or is not familiar on the subject of land acknowledgements, we do land acknowledgements as a Canadian civil organization and movement to show respect for the land. We are a part of the movement towards reconciliation with Indigenous communities in Canada. And by acknowledging our land, we acknowledge that the land we operate on has ancient traditional roots and relationships. And though we are all members of historically underrepresented communities, we are still uninvited settlers onto this land. And we need to acknowledge the ways that we benefit from the lasting system of settler colonialism and to be accountable to the Indigenous communities that have had relationships on this land for thousands of years. Currently, I'm actually residing in Caledonia, Ontario, where there is the ongoing conflict between the Haudenosaunee and the provincial government. We at Lives for Literacy stand with the Haudenosaunee as they currently go through this land title claim regarding Foxgate development and the subdivision that is trying to be built on their unceded land. We also stand with the Wet'suwet'en as they fight against the pipeline in British Columbia and are going through constant battle and current fight with legislation in British Columbia. But, you know, we've established all of this, but who are we? Some of you here might not actually know who we are at Lives for Literacy. So hi, we're Lives for Literacy. We're a grassroots movement dedicated to eradicating illiteracy and raising awareness to the beauty of education. We're based out of Montreal, Canada, with execs from all over the country and all over the world. And we are working with all of you worldwide to do events like this, programs like this, and awesome campaigns to promote our mission.
Okay. Hi, guys. So today you're with me to do the painting sessions for mental health and for just a nice activity to relax during this busy time of the school year, busy time of the year. So we're going to begin. We need a canvas. So my canvases that I bought were extremely flimsy and cheap. Leave it to me to try to save money here and there. So I've decided I'm just going to go with this manila paper. So to begin, I'm going to grab some tape and I'm going to tape around the edges just to add a clean effect to the painting. You can use any tape. Painter's tape is the best. This is electrical tape, but again, because of the pandemic and all the shutdowns and yesterday was family day, I'm just going with what I have, and I think that's the best option in these times of the world. So yeah, I'm just gonna tape the edges. It should take me a second. I just need a few. So the first landscape we're gonna do is a mountain effect. So a fading off into the distance mountain effect. So for this painting, it's gonna go from light to dark, and we're gonna need about 4 different shades. So let me just tape this for a few seconds. It's taking longer than I thought. Anyway, so the reason why you want to do this, like I said, is just to have that nice clean effect at the edges. And in order to do that, you need to have some taping on the edges. I'm sure we'll get better as we go. Also, as you could see down here, I have a little bit of a workspace to work from that I taped down as well, because it is a messy task when you involve painting, it is extremely important to keep the space clean, especially because we are doing multiple paintings. So like I said, we're gonna do the mountain now, and then we're gonna do a sunset, and we're gonna do a galaxy. So these are all very simple paintings, and there is a reason for this. Number one, I am a beginner, and also we don't have much time, because if I were to do the paintings that were in the Instagram example, it would take a couple of hours, let me tell you, give or take a couple of hours. So the reason why I've decided to go with simple ones is just for the purpose and sake of time. Also, the second painting we're going to be painting is a sunset, and the third painting, a galaxy, like I said. There are different effects for each painting. One of them, which is the moon, one of them, which is the mountains, is a very kind of calming effect. And they're all very simple and very easy to do. So no matter your skill level, you'll be able to do them, which is what I'm trying to accomplish with this event, make it very inclusive for all. Also, the colors I add, the colors I do, can be versatile. So they're very versatile colors. And yeah, so here's the canvas. Just see the edges taped, so then you rip it off and it'll be nice and clean. Okay, so now I'll show you my colors I have. I have a lot that I got. So as you could tell, I have a lot of different variations of different colors. And for this particular painting, I'm gonna choose the blue ones. So I'm gonna use this darker cobalt blue, as you can see the colors there. I'm gonna use this phthalo blue. It's just darker. And I'm gonna use a cerulean blue. Pardon my pronunciation. They're very difficult names to pronounce, but that's okay. It doesn't matter. That's not gonna be the outcome of our painting. Just wanted to mention again, I am a pretty beginner, but I'm doing this for the sake of mental health and promoting mental health awareness, and to show you that even if you're not an experienced painter, you can do it too. Okay, so the brush I'm choosing to use for this is this big brush. Is this pretty big brush. It's not, so I have these brushes, I'm so sorry. So I have all these brushes, and this is just a reference for you guys. I have these brushes, but I'm choosing to go with this one because it'll blend the mountains nicely, okay? So I am going to put my colors down on a palette. I'm gonna use this as my palette. So you want to have the base of white for sure. And then, so I'm gonna just give you guys a better view. I'm gonna put some white down. Okay. And then I'm gonna put some blues just to add to that mountain effect. Open it. And guys, when you're painting, if anything goes wrong, you just gotta roll with it, you know? Like, things happen. As you can see, I got some paint on my canvas, but that's okay, we'll work with it, you know? This is not about talent, this is about relaxing our mind and having a good event, a good activity to de-stress and calm our nerves, which is what I aim to do in my life, because it's a very hard life out there if you make it hard. If you just go with the flow and roll with it, then you know what, you'll get through. Okay, so make sure I have a cup of water, you know, just in case we need it. For this particular painting, I'm not planning on using a cup of water or wetting the brush at all. So avoid it. But what we're going to start with is we're going to get our medium-sized brush, like I said, and we're going to put a lot of white paint on it. And as you can see, we're going to just stroke the paint across. So you'll probably need more than you put down, but that's okay. You got to just kind of go with it and add more white paint as you come. So I'm going to add more, obviously. Okay. So you want to make it about 2 inches just to add to the mountain effect that we're trying to create. So once you reach that 2-inch threshold, then you're going to want to start blending in the colors. So just make sure you get all the edges just so it looks nice and clean when you're finished. And yeah, it should turn out really nice. So I think I have to use the entire white bottle because it's these are small bottles of paint. During the pandemic in my area where I live, everything is shut down. So you gotta kind of just, make do with what you have. Yeah, so now you want to just mix in a little bit. Now we're going darker as we go down. So these are my colors. I'm going to choose to go with the lightest one in order to create the effect I'm trying to create. So I'm just adding some white to it. And I'm going to just blend it. And as you can see, it creates that nice kind of like blended effect. So this is not our finished product because we don't want it to look so choppy. So we just have to continue to stroke. And the reason why I chose this, like I keep saying, is because it's not necessarily a paint that you need an immense amount of skill for. It's a paint that just relaxes your mind with the continuous strokes. And that just adds to the calming effects that I'm trying to create as well. So again, I want each color to be about 2 inches. So just bear with me as I get to that 2 inches of this color. I should really play some relaxing music in the background just to add to the effect. We'll do that maybe on the next painting that we're gonna do. So as you could tell with my strokes, I'm trying to create a little bit of a hilly effect. So that's where the mountains are gonna come in eventually at the end of the painting. So you just have to start with the base of the mountains, right? And then from the continuation of continuing to make these mountains, you will have a mountain effect. So now we're getting darker. I just want to talk a little bit about the cause of this event. So I personally selected the charity of Canadian Mental Health Association, and I know some of you may be from a different part of the country or the world, but in general, the reason why I chose the Canadian Mental Health Association is because the work they do with mental health and supporting those with mental health issues is so important to me in my life. I don't personally have a diagnosed condition or anything, but I know that I struggle with my mental health on a daily basis. And it's not so much it's not very aggressive every day. It's just making sure that you are able to control your feelings and your mind and just, you're able to step back and take a breath, because when you allow yourself to become so busy and caught up in the world's activities, you are you can sometimes be swept away by everything that has to be done, and that can lead to really detrimental effects. So guys, as you can see, anyway, sorry. So as you can see, I'm continuing to blend, and the colors that you add are not too important as long as they're just different. That's what matters. So I'm just trying to create this effect. It doesn't even matter, honestly, what the pattern is. Like I said, this is just a very mindful activity, and I'm hoping that it helps everyone with their mind and in relaxing. For the next painting, I'll add some music just so we can be very low music, just so we can all enjoy our time doing this. We're almost there, it looks like. And the effects of the different colors mixed together is really creating that mountainy effect. You could even call this kind of like a sky, but it's more like a mountainous sky. So as you can see, I'm getting darker as I go. And this just, again, is just my decision. You could have done it the other way if you wanted. But for me, I don't know. I feel like I like the effect it's creating. I'm no professional, but you know what? It's making me happy, and that's all that really matters, right? So yeah. Also, it is a pandemic, a global pandemic right now. And painting isn't something you have to do if you're a professional. When I was a child, I used to get very anxious when I was in art class at school, and it was just because I was very maybe shy in my abilities. I'm not saying I'm a professional, but like I'm just having a nice relaxing time. And I'm just gonna, stop talking for a bit and just enjoy it. And I advise you to do the same. And go at your own pace. If I'm going too slow, go faster. If I'm going too fast, go fast. Go slower. But the goal is to create this mountain effect, like I continue to say. And, like I said, it could be a hill, a mountain, whatever. It's abstract. So it's whatever you interpret it to be. Well, I'm running out of paint on my on my paint spread. So I'm gonna just add some more. First, I'm gonna just blend it a bit, because blending is what makes a picture, to be honest. Okay, I'm gonna add some darker blues because we're getting to the bottom. And as I said, it's my goal for the painting, this abstract painting, is to create a mountain effect that goes from light to dark. So we're really, aiming for that dark at the end. I might even add a little bit of black, but I'm just using what colors I have. And I just advise you guys to use, the darkest blues you have at the end. And then you can use some black if you want. Honestly, this is all up to you. It's just about the activity itself. Also, feel free to skip. Like if you want to skip, you could skip because you're watching the recorded version. I just am a person who likes to take my time, and that's what keeps me, grounded and centered. But as you can see, the blues are getting darker, and I do have intentions to add some black after. So just a little bit. Like I'm not gonna go crazy because it is a dark color to work with. But as you can see, I'm pretty much just going back and forth. Like I'm, wisping to create that mountain effect. again, it's what you see it is. Like, it may not be a mountain in your eyes, but in my eyes, it's a mountain. So as you could see, we're coming to the bottom of the page, but not yet. I don't want to start the black yet because black is so overpowering, and I prefer not to at the moment. So just make sure you get all the edges of your canvas because that's important in establishing a very neat edge. And like I said, I'm not a professional.
Michaela?
Welcome back, guys. My internet just cut out, and you know what? That's Zoom. That's what Zoom's about. And I'm sure you can understand because we are in such a different time in our world. Like, wow, I'm in university and it's a struggle. It's a struggle online. But you know what? We're getting through it. And I think we're going to be the strongest generation of youth to enter the world because we've dealt with so much. And that could be a complete, like, pity words, whatever, because we're not used to much in our life. But I speak for myself when I say that. As you can see, though, as you can see, it's getting darker as I go to the bottom. And pretty soon, we're actually going to add our black. And I'm going to start mixing it with blue because, you know what? I honestly, like I said, I keep saying I'm not a big fan of black just because it's like it's a color that's just like, in my opinion, it's the best color to wear just because it's so, like, I don't know, it's such a good standard neutral color, but when painting, I like to be like more positive. So I kind of mixed it a little bit with the blue just to add some like contrast to it. And maybe a little bit of white just to like beef it up. So it's kind of gray now. And so this is gonna be our mountain landscape. It's gonna be ready in about like a few minutes. Oh, I added more white. Okay, that's okay. Like I said, anything is fine when you're painting, and this is abstract and you're not getting graded or you're not being like judged on it. It's just for relaxation. And I promise to talk less in the next ones because I'll have music playing. Okay. Again, just make sure to create that mountainous landscape. All right, so I'm gonna hold it up for you guys to show you what it came out to be. Like I said, it's very abstract. I'm a beginner, but like, look at the nice kind of way it turned out to be. And for the sake of time, I'm not gonna like continue to like change the stroking of it. But if I wasn't recording the video and was just on my own, I'd probably continue to like rub my paintbrush around. But I'm gonna put this to the side and I'm gonna grab another piece of cardstock, okay? And then when I come back, we're gonna do the exact same process we have of taping the edges. And once you're complete all 3 paintings, let them dry for a good like couple of hours. And at the final, when you can confirm that it is in fact dry, you can take the tape off, and then it should turn out very nice. So yeah, I'm just gonna grab the other canvas over here. I'll actually bring 2 because I have 2 more paintings to go. So next one we're gonna do is the sunset. So for the sunset, there are a few ways you can go about it. So I'm gonna go the most minimal way, and the reason why I say that is because I told you guys you needed acrylic paint, brushes, and canvases, the most basic material you can use. So I'm referring to the sunset here, and the moon. So I'm just washing my paintbrush because we're gonna be dealing with some different colors. And if you can give me a second, I'm just going to play some music. Oh, Sadaf Khan, hello. Hello. Okay, so I have some music playing now. I don't know if you can hear it, but I know I can, and it helps me concentrate better. So next we're gonna do the sunset. And for the sunset, you want mostly the reddy, yellowy kind of vibe colors. And for the sunset, I'm gonna go light to dark instead of dark to light and add a different effect. So just make sure your space is clean. And I don't mean like, fully clean, but just enough to have, a clean working space. And I'll show you my space right now. So I'm actually going to use the second piece of cardstock paper I have as my kind of like new paint spot. So I'm just going to add the different colors. Again, a very simple and easy techniques are involved in this painting. Again, because I'm a beginner and because this is not necessarily an event that should like stress you out when you're painting. It's because it's an event that is good for your mental health and something that's going to make you kind of relax. So again, strokes will be used here, but you're going to create a sunset in the end and it should come out nicely. I am going to use a few more colors, and feel free just to use your the colors you have, and you don't need to have them like match mine exactly, just for the sake of the different colors you'll see. So this is actually really funny, but I actually am gonna just work with this because I think it'll blend nicely just from my eye right now. So I'm just gonna add another color at the bottom just so we have a good spread going. Okay, so these are the colors I have. And now I didn't say you needed this. I don't think you can even see the yellow, but I didn't say you needed this. But if you have a piece of a sticker paper that you can use, I advise that you put a little circle here in this area in order to create that sun. I'm gonna add it after with my white paint. I'm sure I have a little bit left, but you can add it now if you'd like. So I'm gonna go ahead and blend all the colors. It's so contrasty, I'm so sorry. So I'm just blending all the colors. And now, like I said, you want it to be just, it doesn't have to be the same as mine, but you want it to just be different. And not different, just like contrasting. So that's just gonna add to the sunset effect. I know for next time now that I should probably have bigger bottles of acrylic paint. I just literally got what I could find in this day and age. So I'm just gonna add some paint. Can someone tell me if they can see? Oh, Sadaf left. Can you see the paint? Just let me know if it's clear in the chat.
Yes, we can see the colors.
Okay, great. So yeah, different colors, and just using the stroke of your brush, go from side to side and blend in the paint. So let me just change the music to add some relaxation. So yeah, this time we're not going to talk as much. We're going to just paint. Add the stroke. Our next painting is going to resemble something like this. To create the galaxy effect, we'll be adding dots onto our paper. or our canvas with different colors, and then blending it as such in a different manner. So yeah, it's a very simple technique. Again, it's not necessarily going to come out with the most professional paint. Activity to get your mind relaxed. And, you know, it does end up, once drying, kind of looking like an abstract sunset. So yeah, just, you know, stroke the paint, rub the paint in, and it's starting to look very, very nice. I advise when you do this, if you saw me putting 5 dots, I would put maybe 4 dots, because it does seem to be a lot of paint that's being used. It's also not the most resourceful way of doing it. So when you next time, just use less paint. And yeah. And the top is very red because we kind of are gonna blend it in with the orangish color to create the sunset. And there, as you can see, this was a very easy color, an easy painting, and we're just gonna blend. Blending is all that it takes to have a nice painting. You just wanna blend in the colors, make them kind of combine. And you wanna create a kind of skyline effect in the sky. Another option you can add is you can add some clouds into the horizon. I personally enjoy the kind of simplicity of this design, so I won't really be adding anything else except for the final step, which if I just kind of get my white. In the middle, in this area where it like starts to get darker, I'm gonna add some white, so bear with me for a second. I'm just I'm gonna use a different brush so it doesn't mix too much in with the white sky, the red sky. But I'm gonna want it to be a little bit colored, because that's gonna be how a sunset looks. The sun isn't completely, you know, white. So we're gonna just kind of mix in a little bit of and it doesn't have to be this big. It's just I'm working with the paint that I put down on my canvas. So yeah, I'm just gonna kind of take some excess off. And there, that's our second picture. So this is a sunset, and this is the, sunrise. This is the sun rising into the horizon. Someone might call me out and say that I didn't put tape around the edges, but that is simply for the sake of time. Yeah, so it's a very nice and simple drawing, and I hope that you're able to try it out with any colors you have, like I say. So I'm just gonna put this to the side again, just so it could dry and I can get a clear workspace for my favorite picture we're gonna do, which is the galaxy. So I'm just going to for the galaxy, I chose to do this one last because with the workspace we have now, it's a little bit messier. And honestly, ask any painter. I'm not a professional, but I know, like, arts and crafts wise, like, it gets messy. And as long as you have like an open mind, you will be inspired to keep going. So remember, it's about your mental health and your well-being. So not about how it turns out, but about the effects it does. So I have some paper towels on the side just for the purpose of like not completely having a disaster. But yeah, mess is okay as long as, you know, you clean up after yourself. So for this, you want to have a completely clean brush, which I just did. And you're going to want to get a few colors. So I'm personally, because we're creating the galaxy, I'm going to go with a purple. I'm going to need some black. I'm going to need